Welcome aboard, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. Breaking news tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Time, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, and 8:30 p.m. East Coast Time. Yours truly and Sanjeev Javia are hosting a 30-minute long healthy weight loss webinar tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Sanjeev and I are going to teach you how to achieve healthy weight loss and how you can participate in the Healthy Body Challenge, Longevity's Healthy Body Challenge. It's a really great program. People don't know much about it, and if people did know anything about it, everybody would be in, because most people are already engaged in a Healthy Body Challenge. They just don't know that they are. If you're taking longevity supplements, you are engaged in the Healthy Body Challenge, and you might as well get rewarded for what you're already doing. That's a free webinar tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Central Time for 30 minutes. You need to register for this. It's a free event, but you need to register for it. So please visit my website, drglidden.com, drglidden.com, and sign up for my free newsletter. When you sign up for my free newsletter, you give me your email address, and I will email you an invitation to this event. Tomorrow night, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Time, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, 8:30 p.m. East Coast Time. A healthy weight loss webinar hosted by yours truly and the awesome Sanjeev Javia with Longevity. That's tomorrow night. Looking forward to seeing you there. The hypothyroid medication Synthroid continues to be the nation's most prescribed drug, and get this, the antipsychotic Abilify continues to have the highest sales at nearly $6.9 billion, according to the latest research data from IMS Health. This reported through Medscape.com. These numbers reflect a rolling 12 months of history, April 2013 to March 2014, on the top 100 drugs by total sales and total prescriptions in the U.S. Following Synthroid, as the most prescribed drug in the United States were the cholesterol-lowering drugs Crestor and AstraZeneca. Those sold 23 million. The proton pump inhibitor Nexium, 19 million. The asthma medication Albuterol, and the chronic obstructive pulmonary disease medication Advair Diskus, GlaxoSmithKline, at $15.5 million. So what does this mean? Well, this means that, number one, everybody is sick, everybody is suffering, and everybody is taking prescription medications in massive amounts. But the prescription medications are not intended to cure anything. They're not intended to cure anything. They're only intended to manage things. And guess why they sell so much of it? Well, because you need more when you run out. And you need more and more. You don't need the same dose. You need a little bit higher dose. Because what does your body use to metabolize drugs? Vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, amino acids. So the more drugs you take, the more nutrient deficient you become, which means you need to take more drugs. Now, who is that good for? You? No. Good for the medical industry. Good for the pharmaceutical industry especially. This is gigantic money, folks. And this is why they control, the pharmaceutical industry controls how many vitamins you can take if you're in the European Union. It's called, there's a law, a regulatory body in the European Union nations called Codex, C-O-D-E-X. And Codex was bankrolled by the pharmaceutical industry, and according to Codex, you can't get a vitamin that has any, strength unless you have an MD's prescription. So we can't sell the Healthy Start Pack in Europe through normal retail channels, normal direct sales channels. We can't ship 6 container ships of Healthy Start Packs to Dublin offload them in Dublin and warehouse them in Ireland and then distribute them throughout the European Union because that's against the law. Well, why is it against the law? Because there's too many, the dosages of the vitamins are too high. Now, why is Codex concerned with this? Because they don't want people taking therapeutic doses of vitamins, because if they did, they wouldn't need their drugs. And apparently we're okay with this. Your access to health care is being robbed. Your access to health care is being shortchanged. Your access to health care is being compromised by the pharmaceutical industry. They have you by the you-know-what, and you're not even screaming about it. You should be, but you're not. You just roll over and take it. Oh, my doctor says those vitamins just give me expensive urine. Well, answer me this, Batman. If vitamins just give you expensive urine, then why are they restricting the quantity of vitamins that you can take? You know how many people died from vitamins last year? None. You know how many people in the U.S. died from MD-directed medical therapeutics? 738,000 people. 738,000 people. It's a gigantic number. Drugs, prescription medications, MD-directed therapeutics kill people. Vitamins do not. And yet your access to nutritional supplements is regulated by the pharmaceutical industry. And, that's racketeering. As far as I'm concerned, that's racketeering. You can't have one part of the industry say that you can't get something else. For instance, what would be a good metaphor here? Coffee makers. The coffee industry, it's illegal for the coffee industry to get behind a law or to be proactive about laws that make it illegal for anybody to buy tea, right? Because that's their competition. The coffee industry's direct competitor is tea, because they're both loaded with caffeine. They're both pick-me-ups, right? The English love tea, the Americans love coffee. It's against the law for coffee manufacturers to regulate how much tea is allowed to be imported into the United States or anywhere else. But that's exactly what's happened in the world with vitamins. It's exactly what's happened. And yet we roll over and we take it. We roll over and we take it. It was an interesting thing that they did in the European Union. They bundled the Codex vitamin regulations with a bunch of other regulations, for food production, that I think were really pretty good. The regulations for food production, I think, were really pretty good. I'd have to look at the law again. It's been about 5 years since I've really researched this. But they tagged this prescription, the nutritional supplement thing, onto Codex, the regulation of how food was produced, in order to get it passed through, because everybody wanted the food regulations. It was a good idea. But the vitamin regulations is a bad idea. But if you adopt Codex, you can't just have pieces of Codex. You have to have the whole thing. And if you live in the European Union, you've been screwed by the pharmaceutical industry big time. And, there should be public hearings about this. There should be a hue and cry. There should be protests. There should be people standing in front of Parliament in the United Kingdom saying, look, fix this, or we're kicking you out of office the next time you come up to vote. We're going to kick everybody out of office who doesn't vote for this. If you don't vote to amend the regulations for vitamin dosages in this country, nutritional supplement dosages in this country, we're going to kick you out. I don't care what your political position is, because this trumps everything. Health trumps everything. It even trumps wealth, right? I mean, look at Steve Jobs. One of the wealthiest men in the world dies from cancer. Well, what good did all of his money do? Nothing. Because he didn't have knowledge. He didn't know about medical nutrition, didn't know anything about it. Why didn't he know anything about it? Because the pharmaceutical industry and the American Medical Association in the United States have co-opted the medical arena. And so people don't have access to the information that we have access to. They don't. People don't even know how to pronounce naturopath, let alone know what it is. And, Dr. Oz will tell you nonsense about vitamins, and people believe it. Andrew Weil tells people nonsense about vitamins, and people believe it because they have MD after their name, and this is supposed to confer on somebody some type of secret decoder ring magic that allows everybody who has an MD to know everything about anything, even though they were not trained in any of it in medical school. Your MD has no training in vitamins, doesn't know anything about the holistic methodology. Zero. It should be illegal for them to give you advice about vitamins, but because they sit in the catbird seat, they can do whatever they want, whenever they want, with impunity. So your access to vitamins is limited in Canada. Your access to nutritional supplements is limited in Canada. It's limited in all countries in the European Union. It's limited in Australia. And yet, what do? Nothing. We don't do anything about it, because we haven't really lined it all up. And the day that people line it all up, the day that 16% of the population lines all of this stuff up, everything's going to change. Because you can do a tremendous amount with your vote. You can do a tremendous amount with your mental agility. Politicians never like to lead. They love to follow. So if you want to get a politician to back you, start a giant parade. And then the politician will fall in right behind you. They'll put themselves right at the head of the parade. That's how they are. That's how the world is. It's inside out, upside down, and ass backwards, for goodness sake. And yet here we are, standing up on a lonely mountaintop, waving the flag, saying, hey, everybody, this way. It's this way. This way. Into the beautiful, magnificent, undiscovered country of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. My golf buddy Javier from California is up next. We want to hear what he has to say. Stick around, folks. This is Fire Your MD Now. How does the world change? The one person at a time. Let's go to California and see what Javier is up to. Hey, Javi, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hey, let me ask you something. Have you gotten your mind ready to lose next time we play golf?
No, Javi, I never have my mind ready to lose. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, at the Longevity Convention, Javier and I played golf. It was the first time Javier had been on the golf course in 157 years. He's a very old man. And I beat him by one stroke on the 18th hole. It was an awesome competition. We had just a ton of fun. So, next time, buddy, it's anybody's ball game. That's what I'm saying. But I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good lately. I'm feeling pretty good.
Better start working on your mind, because you're going down, my friend.
So what's going on, Javi? How's it going with longevity, and what's happening?
Hey, just fantastic. I do want to ask you something about the prescription you gave me for my sister. But, I just thought I'd call in and tell my story. And then maybe some other time I'll tell my brother's story, how doctors killed him.
Well, all right. We're all ears, brother. I've got 4 minutes left in this segment, so rock and roll.
Okay. About 1988, I started having, high blood pressure. And about 92, 94, my knees, I was working with Herbalife, convinced me that I could get rid of it. Doctors had told me that I was going to have to live with it and that all they could do was, try and control it or manage it. And they couldn't even do that. Since I was in the insurance business, I was trying to sell insurance to a lot of people that were working with other companies, and I tried Herbalife for about 5 months, and then I tried also Amway, 4Life, Nature Sunshine, Noni, Monavi, and a bunch of others. And I got to a point where I could, it just didn't work. Nothing seemed to work. And then when I was working with FDI, the FDI joined longevity, and was not, I knew what it was, kind of company that it was, and I was not interested because I didn't want to have to lie to people so that I could sell the products and make some money. I was convinced it was not going to work, but a friend of mine, my Drew Brewer, kept telling me, get on the internet and look at this, look at that. And one time she said, you close to the computer? I said, yes. She says, look for, doctors are the third leading cause of death in the United States, killing 225,000 people per year. It's a report from July of 2000. I looked it up and I was shocked. That turned me around. I started investigating and started looking at things and reading and listening. And then I went to see you, at the Holiday Inn in Buena Park. I was very impressed with what you said. Then later on, I found out that an old friend of mine, Buck Steffens, had diabetes and had gangrene, and they were going to amputate his left foot almost all the way to the knee. And Dr. Wallach told him, no, let me help you. And in 9 weeks, Dr. Wallach got rid of the gangrene, and I was impressed. So I said, well, all I have to do now is try the product myself, By now, it wasn't only my high blood pressure, but I had, big prostate problems. They did a PSA, and it came out 26.7 under 4.
Yeah.
So I was in bad shape, and I also had kidney problems, gout, chest pains. My heart would beat like it was coming out of my chest.
Man.
I would wake up at 1, 2, 3 in the morning, and I could not go back to sleep. I was in bad shape. So I found out that Dr. Wallach was having a seminar in San Diego, in Chula Vista at a school. And a friend of mine, Roberto, and I went to see him. And I took my results from my exam that my regular doctor had done. Dr. Wallach started laughing because of what she pointed out, that my high blood pressure needed, she wanted to prescribe some drugs to lower the cholesterol. I said, no, by then I knew enough. I said, no, you take him yourself.
Hey, Javi, I'm on the edge of my seat. It's a hard break. Stick around. I want to hear the rest when we come back. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Today is Wednesday, the 14th day of May, and this is Fire Your MD Now. Stick around. Healthy Weight Loss webinar tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Free for one and all. Need your email address, though, so visit my website and give it to me. drglidden.com. All right, we're talking to Javier from California. So, Javier, you're suffering with a prostate problem, you're suffering with a blood pressure problem, you're suffering with an arthritic problem, you got a blood sugar issue. You've tried every other company. You did Herbalife, you did Mona V, you did Nature Sunshine, Amway. Oh my God, and nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Now you're finally at the end of your rope. You're made aware of Dr. Wallach. You visit Dr. Wallach at one of the lectures that he gave, and he laughs at the prescriptions that you've been given by the MDs. And what did Dr. Wallach recommend you take?
Well, let me just a minute, okay? I'll get that. But I wanted to tell you that these products that I took, like Herbalife, I took that for 5 months.
Yeah.
It didn't work. And I took, all these other products for some time, and not just a week or two. Just got to a point where I couldn't, was not willing to spend any more money because nothing worked.
Right.
And when it came up that the two companies merged, FDI and Longevity, I was not interested. I was looking for work somewhere else. But thanks to my Drew Brewer, I kept insisting that I check this. I did. Now the thing is that I had to become a believer, and after going to Dr. Wallach, my blood pressure was gone in 3 weeks. So,
how long had you had high blood pressure?
Since 1988, 89,
Wow.
For many, many years. Wow. And I was scared. A lot of times I went to the hospital, the emergency care, and they kept me there for a couple of hours and then sent me home. But nothing worked. They told me you're going to have to live with this. What we can do is manage it,
And in 3 weeks of following Dr. Wallach's advice, the blood pressure normalizes.
What was that? I took calcium.
Yeah.
I still have the paper that where he told me what to take, and a lady, forgot her name, she wrote everything down and she gave me that. And I still have it.
So what? All right. So let's keep going here. So the blood pressure's gone in 3 weeks. What about the prostate and everything else?
2 months.
What happened in 2 months? Gone completely?
Yeah. I was scared of going to the bathroom and urinating because it was so painful.
Yeah.
But in 2 months, that was gone. My kidney problem was gone. Gout was gone. Chest pain and my heart beating so fast, so hard, that was gone. And I was able to sleep like a baby.
Yeah, you got to love it. This is the power of medical nutrition. And you know how many millions of people there are, just like you, Javier, suffering needlessly, suffering in silence, suffering because they don't know there's anything else to do. And, they're open-minded. They've tried other companies. They've tried other stuff. I say this all the time when I lecture in front of people. I say this all the time in my webinars. And I don't know if people really believe me, but they need to. I've been doing naturopathic therapeutics for 25 years. I've been licensed to practice naturopathic medicine for 21 years. And since I have a lot of experience with applied clinical naturopathic medicine. And since I've been following Dr. Wallach's advice, using Dr. Wallach's products and Dr. Wallach's health recovery protocols, I don't know what planet I'm on anymore, because the things that I've seen people recover from following Dr. Wallach's advice, I've never seen that before. Dr. Wallach's protocols eclipse in effectiveness anything that I've ever seen. And if you knew my clinical track record, that's saying quite a bit. So even in the world of applied clinical medicine, that stuff that you only have access to as a licensed naturopathic physician, Wallach's stuff is better than that too. So this is just a no-brainer for anybody in the world who's dealing with a chronic health issue, and it's a no-brainer for anybody in the world who's dealing with a chronic wealth issue. You can increase your net worth, you can increase your bottom line, you can increase your monthly income by helping other people to recover their health, and that's just it's a slam dunk across the board.
I had to become a believer, but after this, after what you did to my friend Buck Steffens and to myself, I had to become a believer. So, I stopped looking for work somewhere else.
That's a good idea, Javier. The future is bright indeed, my friend. I have to move along. I have a full boat of phone calls, Javi.
Okay, then I'll call you back about my sister.
All right. The second hour, I think we might have some free time. I'll look forward to it. Thanks so much. There he goes, ladies and gentlemen. Javier, who I predict is going to be the next longevity superstar, because when you combine personal experience with a social conscience, there's nothing that can stop you. Charlene from yesterday is back. Let's see what she has to say. Hey, Charlene, thanks for the call. What's up?
Oh, yeah, okay, hon. I have to get something cleared up. You told me that I can get the glucose gel without shellfish, and you gave me a vitanutrition.com, and my friend could not find it.
Now you wrote that down, Charlene. You wrote that down wrong, Charlene. Here, I'm going to give you the real link. Okay, so write this down exactly.
Okay.
It's Vital, VITAL.
Mm-hmm.
Nutrients, plural, Nutrients, Vital Nutrients.
Wait a minute, plural. You got to write that plural, Plural?
No. Vital Nutrients with an S on the end of it.
Okay, nutrient.
Yeah, Vital Nutrients.
N-U-T-R.
I-E-N, T like Thomas, S.
T like Thomas, S. Okay, Vital Nutrients.
.net.
.net. Oh, okay.
VitalNutrients.net. Order their glucosamine chondroitin. And the practitioner code that you'll need to check out with is 7318.
Yeah, I got that. Okay, how much should I take of it when I receive it?
Just get one bottle. Divide the number of capsules in the bottle. I think it's either 180 or 240 by 30 days in the month. So it's either going to be 6 or 8 capsules a day, either 6 or 8 a day.
Okay. Another thing, you told me to take the BTT, 1 scoop 3 times a day in 8 ounces of water.
A minimum of 8 ounces of water. Yep. 12 might be better. 8 to 12 ounces of water. Yep. 3 times a day.
For 1 scoop?
Yes.
Okay. 12. Okay. Now, beyond after the liquid, I don't have that, so I'm using the powder. But when I get the liquid, I use 1 ounce to 2 ounces of orange juice. This is once a day. This is before bed. But
how much do you weigh? How much do you weigh?
140.
All right. So I'd like you to do 1 ounce and 2 ounces of orange juice immediately before bed.
Mm-hmm.
And 1 ounce and 2 ounces of orange juice first thing in the morning.
Okay, got it. I knew you told me that, but we didn't finish it. We got sidetracked.
Yeah, okay, good. I'm glad you called back.
Can you? Yeah, thanks, hon. I just adore you. I have kidneys. I urinate a lot. Sometimes I can't make it. I have to always use those pads. Then I got varicose veins, and I had surgery in November. I broke a bone. So that's what I wanted to tell you, too. And so if you can help me out with that, or should I just take care of the arthritis first?
Well, no, you need to understand, Charlene, that we don't do it that way because this is holistic medicine and everything is connected.
Okay.
So the stuff that I've recommended you start with is going to have comprehensive effects across the board.
Okay.
And, we just need to start somewhere and see how you do with it.
Okay.
And then adjust appropriately as we go downstream. So this is a really good place to start. Make sure you've eliminated the 10 bad foods, right?
Yeah, you said I can have coffee with EFA?
Yeah, coffee with EFA is no problem, but not with minerals.
Oh, not with my BTT?
Correct.
Oh.
Nor the osteo. Nor the selenium. The light breaks. The light breaks in Michigan.
How about EFA? Is it like 3 of them or 6 with the coffee?
Yeah, you can do 3. I wouldn't do more than 3 at any one time. So do 3 EFAs a couple times a day, right? With food or coffee.
I take 9 of them.
Even better. That makes you the smartest girl in Michigan.
Ooh.
All right, Charlene, you're the greatest.
What about the surgery I had?
What about it?
This will take care of it too, right? Everything.
Well, I don't know what's going to take care of what, but we can't go back in time. So you just have to support and promote your body where it's at right now. Move diligently every month forward and see what improves and see what doesn't, and then we're going to be able to tweak it downstream.
Okay, thank you. Jesus loves you, and he wants you to love him.
All right, Charlene, you're the greatest. Keep up the good work. I appreciate it very much. Time for one more call, I believe, in this segment. Let's go to Minnesota and talk to Clinton. Hey, Clinton, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hey, Dr. Glidden, how you doing today? I'm
great, but I'll get better. Thanks, Clinton. What's up?
That's good. Well, a couple things here. Finally today I got my CEO package.
Nice.
Today, my order from Longevity, and just I'm just out here and I'm seeking for the truth, and I really have gotten some concrete answers due to you and Dr. Wallach. You two are great. I guess one of the things here that I'm in a church, and I'm kind of seeing just different elements going through the church, and you just want to see everybody kind of whole and healed. And so I believe this is one of the great courses that can help this process along. And so my question today is on Alzheimer's. And it is actually my wife's cousin. You know, and I don't know if it's Alzheimer or if it's dementia. I think it's dementia. But what's going on is, you know, she's been taking a product, and she's been on that product, this other product, for about 4 months. And so I tried to make her aware of, you know, I sent her one of Dr. Wallach's videos, where in one of his conferences, where he's breaking down different things with Alzheimer's, dementia, and different things of that nature right there. And one of the symptoms that I'm seeing that's going on, and it doesn't appear that it's getting any better at all, is that she's recalling people that had passed on from like 20 years ago. And she's always, you know, forgetting her person, stuff like that, too. And so she's taking this product, and this other product is called BioAMS or Bio-An Alzheimer's Mender. And it's got the ingredients of acetylene, L-carnitine in it, HCl, CDP, choline.
Well, look, this is I get it. I'm familiar with the product, and this is the deal, right? No other company has Wallach's resume. No other company has Wallach's research. No other company has Wallach's know-how. So it would be prudent for people to, you know, get trained by the best. Wallach is the best. You stick around. I'll dial this in for you when we come back, Clinton. Stick around. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Wednesday, May 14th, 2014. Dr. Peter Glidden here. We're talking to Clinton from Minnesota. Now, Clinton, I have some words to the wise for you, okay? You still with me?
Yeah.
All right. So, look, man, I get where you're coming from, and believe me, we've been there and we've done that. And, you know, there's a couple things you need to understand about showing people longevity's information. And it all goes back, you really need to get this, man. You need to soak up what I'm about to tell you and make it your own, because once you soak this stuff up and act on it appropriately, your longevity life will change. You need to grok this up, man. The sower had good seed. Longevity has remarkable seed. Longevity stuff is the best stuff I've ever seen in medical nutrition, and nobody even comes close. The sower had good seed, but some seed fell on rocky ground. So some people you show this to, they're not going to want to hear it. They're just not going to want to hear it. That's life. Some seed fell on ground and started to grow, but then, some seed the birds got, right?
Right.
Those are the people that you invited to the webinar and they didn't show up. Those are the people that you invited to the live event and they didn't show up. Those are the people that you told about the radio program and they didn't tune in. The birds got them, right?
Right.
Some of the seed fell on ground and started to grow, but then the weeds choked it out. So some people start to take longevity, and then they go online and they read some knucklehead who says that Dr. Wallach's a quack, and they believe him, and then they abandon you midstream. But some seed fell on fertile ground. That's 25%. About 25% of the people that you tell this to are going to get it and take action on it and get relief from it. 25%. If you can do more than 25%, you're a freaking genius. The way that the world works is 1 out of 4 people, more or less, are going to be receptive to this message. So rather than chasing people and beating people over the head with this and trying to convince them that this is the way, it's going to be a very frustrating process for you if you continue to do that. The best way to show this message is to point. Look, the shorter the enrollment conversation you can have with people, the better it's going to be, because ultimately your success is a numbers game. You need to show this to 10 people to get 4. Well, you need to show it to 4 people to get 1. So, if you only show it to, 3 people, you're not going to get anything. And depending on the week and, the kind of the temperament of the person that you show it to, you might show it to 10 people and get 10 no's. But then you show it to the next 4 people and you get four yeses. That's how it goes. It's a numbers game. So,
absolutely, I totally agree with you. Just one thing too, and I agree with that. I understand that because actually, a couple of the people and a couple of the pastors that I do work with, a couple of them actually have ordered. With me being a 2. Being used for that. So everybody isn't receptive, and I'm totally in agreement with that piece there. But if there's a turn here with my cousins here, my wife's cousin, because I think they're getting the understanding that what they're using now isn't working.
So my recommendation, I get it. All right, so maybe you have a foot in the door. So what I would do, and this is going to sound self-serving, but here we go. I would send them a link to my webinar. I did a really good webinar on Alzheimer's and dementia. I did a really good webinar.
Okay.
So I would send them a link to that and say, look, watch this. And then I'm going to call you after you've watched it, or you give me a call after I watch it, and I'll answer any questions that you have and get you started on the products. Because this is the whole thing, right? You don't want to become the chef. You just want to take people to the restaurant. You don't want to become the artist. You take people to the museum. So the more ammunition, the more arrows that you have in your quiver, the better it's going to be. So, Wallach's CDs, my DVDs, Wallach's radio show, my radio show, the stuff I have available for insiders online. Use this stuff to your advantage, man, and really talk to 20 people a week, right? And then you'll get 5, and then that's how we do it, man. I'm inspired by you. Keep up the good work. Regretfully, we're up. Thanks.
Have a good one, man.
Thanks, Clinton. I appreciate you very much. That's how we're going to do it. It's a little study in human psychology and how to show people the light. You'd be amazed at how many people run away from it. Hour 2 coming up next, folks. Stick around.